Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to our biology class. Today we are starting unit number 3, the cell. It is one of the most interesting chapters in biology. If you missed your summer camp or haven't studied this chapter yet, don't worry. In this lecture, I will explain everything from the beginning in very simple English using daily life examples. So by the end of this lecture, you will be able to answer questions like what is a cell, what is called the basic unit of life, who discovered the cell, what is the difference between plants and animal cells, and what is the function of the cell wall. So let's begin. So starting off with what is a cell? Students, look around you. You can see plants, animals, birds, insects, and even tiny microorganisms that we cannot see with our naked eyes. Although these living things are very different in size and shape, they all have one thing in common. They all are made up of cells. The book says Earth is a living planet. It is home to a huge variety of life, from microscopic organisms to magnificent blue whales and giant redwood trees. This means Earth contains living organisms of every sizes. Some organisms are so small that they can only be seen under a microscope. Others, like the blue whales, are the largest animals on Earth. Similarly, giant redwood trees are among the tallest trees in the world. Although they are completely different, all of them are made up of cells. So, if you imagine a building like a house is made up of thousands of bricks. One brick cannot make a house. Many bricks together make one complete house. So, in the same way, our body is made up of millions and trillions of tiny cells. So, cell is the building block of every living organism. So, the functions performed by living organisms are also performed at the cell level. So, why does this mean our body breathes, our body grows, our body digests food, our body repair wounds? All these activities actually happen because individual cells are performing these functions. Therefore, cell is called the basic structural and functional unit of cell. So, you can note down the important definition. A cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living cells. Okay. Next is structure of cells. So now let's see how scientists discovered the cell. In 1665, an English scientist named Robert Hooke examined a thin slice of cork under a compound microscope. Cork comes from the bark of a tree. Okay, so when Robert Hooke looked down the microscope, he noticed many tiny empty box-like structures. These look like small rooms. He called them cells. The word cell means small room or chambers. However, the cells he observed were actually dead cells because cork tissue is dead. As microscope improved in the 19th century, scientists could see much more clearly. Because of these improved microscopes, scientists discovered the nucleus in 1831. Okay, so scientists discovered nucleus in 1831. Later, many other tiny structures inside cells were also discovered. These structures are called cell organelles. So, if the question was asked in paper that who discovered the cell, so the answer will be Robert Hooke discovered the cell in year 1665. Okay students, so now look carefully at figure 3.1. This is an animal cell. Okay, as we studied in class that animal cells is round in shape. Every colored structure inside the cell has a specific function. Let's understand each part one by one. So first part is cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane is the outer boundary of the animal cell, so that's why it is called cell membrane. Think of it as the security gate of a school. It controls what enters and what leaves the cell. Without the cell membrane, the cell cannot survive. Next organelle is cytoplasm. Inside the membrane is a jelly-like material called cytoplasm. All these organelles remain suspended in the cytoplasm. It is the place where many chemical reactions take place. Third one is nucleus. The nucleus is the control center of the cell. Just as school principal controls the whole school, the nucleus controls all the activities of the cells. It also contains hereditary material like DNA and RNA. Third part is nucleolus. Inside the nucleus is a dark region called the nucleolus. It helps in the formation of ribosomes. Next part is mitochondria. Mitochondria are called the powerhouse of the cell. They produce energy by breaking down food. Without mitochondria, cells would not have enough energy to perform their activities. Next one is ribosomes. These are tiny particles. Their main function is to make proteins. Proteins are needed for growth and repair. Next part is rough endoplasmic reticulum, or you can also say that RER. It has ribosomes attached to its surface. Its function is protein transport. Next is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So it has no ribosomes attached to its surface. It helps in making fats and transporting different materials. Next one is Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus modifies, packages, stores, and transport proteins and other materials. Okay, think of it as a packaging and delivery center. Next one is lysosomes. Lysosomes contains digestive enzymes. They digest organelles and harmful substances. Next one is vacuoles. You can see small vacuoles in the animal cells. They are the storage sacs. They store water, food, and waste materials. Animal cells have small vacuoles. Next is centrosomes. Centrosomes help during cell division. It plays an important role when new cells are formed. Okay, so now let's move to figure 3.2. Plant cells have most of the same organelles as animal cells, however, they also have some extra structures. Starting off with cell wall. The cell wall is found only in plant cells. It lies outside the cell membrane. It is rigid, strong, and provides protection. It also gives shape to the plant cell. Second one is chloroplast. Chloroplast contains chlorophyll, which is a green pigment. It traps sunlight for photosynthesis. This is why plants can prepare their own food. Animals do not have chloroplast. Third one is large vacuole. Plant cells have one large central vacuole. It stores water and helps keeps the cell firm. Firm means in shape or strong. Next is leucoplast. Leucoplast stores food materials like starch. So next we are going to start the main topic, which is cell wall. So the cell wall surrounds the plasma membrane of plant cell. So according to your book, it is a rigid, non-living covering found outside the cell membrane. Cell wall consists of three layers. First one is middle lamella, second is primary wall, third is secondary wall. Okay, starting off with middle lamella, we will see it in detail. The middle lamella contains pectin. It acts like glue, holding neighboring plant cell together. Okay, next one is primary wall. The primary wall contains cellulose fibers. It is a thin and flexible wall. Young plant cells mainly have the primary wall. Next one is secondary wall. Some plant cells develop a secondary wall inside the primary wall. It contains lignin, making it very thick and strong. The cell wall also has tiny pores called plasmodesmata. These pores allow neighboring cells to communicate and exchange materials. So these tiny pores, or the way of communication between two cells, is called plasmodesmata. So the next is function of cell wall. So the main function of cell wall is to give shape to the cell. It protects the cell. It provides supports, help maintain turgor pressure in plant. So if you look into your book, it says that algae have cellulose cell walls. We also discussed algae in the class. Okay, it is a type of microorganisms. Its cell wall is made up of cellulose. So these kind of questions can be come in MCQs or short questions, that what is cell wall of algae made of? So the cell wall of algae is made up of cellulose. The cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin. The cell wall of prokaryotes, means plants, is made up of peptidoglycans. However, animal cells do not have any cell wall. So this is a distinguishing feature of animal cell, that it doesn't have any cell wall present in the cell. So the questions that are important in these topics are: define cell, what is the cell and the structural and functional unit of cell, who discovered the cell and in which year, name the three layers of the cell wall, states the two function of the cell wall, what is the role of cell membrane, what is the function of ribosomes. Okay, so that's all for today's lecture. If you have any query or any problem, you can ask me, and that's all for today. We will start other topic in next class.